Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we are learning Nazir page 24. And we were introduced to a new Mishnah which said that if a woman makes a declaration saying that she is a Nazir, and she even designates certain sacrifices, because there are 3 sacrifices that need to be brought at the time when a person completes their status of being a Nazir, namely a sin offering, a elevation offering, and a peace offering, or a chatas, an ola, and a shlomim. And the problem is, what happens if afterwards her husband annulled the vow? And therefore, she's not a Nazir. So that means she no longer has to complete the process of bringing these animals, these sacrifices. So what is to be done in this situation? So in this, the Talmud says it depends. If they were his animals and it was something in which perhaps he has an obligation, or maybe not an obligation, to supply animals on her behalf so that she'll be able to bring these sacrifices. Or it's possible we're talking about a situation in which the laws are different if these animals were hers. And if they're hers, so then, for example, when it comes to the peace offering, she could still bring it, and it's not considered to be a peace offering earmarked specifically as a Nazir because she's not a Nazir anymore. And therefore, because of that, even though typically breads would accompany this offering, breads will not accompany this offering, again, because she's not a Nazir. On this, the Talmud asks a question that we find in many places. We know when it comes to a relationship of a husband and wife, we don't find that they have totally 2 separate, independent bank accounts. Instead, we say that if the wife works, so it's understood that there is a relationship, that the husband provides things for her, and she provides things for him. So she will potentially be working, and if in fact that's what she does, so she's entitled to be able to have all of her food expenses paid for. And in fact, it's brought down explicitly how much that is. It says elsewhere that every week she must receive 2 measures of wheat, and it talks about all other things as well that she's entitled to have. So the question is, how is it possible then that if we're going to say that really everything belongs to both of them, that whatever she has really is his, so how could we ever say this case that she has these animals, that she owns these animals? After all, if in fact she produces and works for these animals, they should be given to the husband, so that in turn she'll be getting a certain amount of food and other things. Again, it's not a take relationship. In Judaism and Torah, it's built specifically that each person, a man and a woman, a husband and wife, have different roles and responsibilities, and they both have to bring certain things to the table in a relationship, and each one is relying on the other to be able to make a harmonious family. So in this, the question is asked, well, how is this possible? How do we understand this? So the Talmud gives 2 answers. One of them is that even though it's true she's given this food, or this allowance, if you will, and that allowance actually is considered to be her independent money. Now, she could very well spend it on food, which is a lot of food, which would satiate her, or instead of spending it all, she could save some of it. And therefore, this is what the Talmud's talking about. It's a situation where she saved money, and because she saved the money which she was entitled to for her food, so then with that money she bought these animals which are rightfully hers. So we see, as we find many times, the Torah over here, and the Talmud mentions that people, and women as well, took upon themselves to save money. And for a person to have money and just immediately to spend it on everything is not considered to be necessarily a wise financial decision. As we see, this woman was careful even to save a little bit here and there, but it added up to many animals.